I especially like the point of Adam and Eve, that it was not only disobedience, but a lack of repentance. Very much it made me think of Judas Iscariot.
Yes.
Yeah.
His lack of.
If he would have asked for forgiveness, Christ was ready to forgive him.
No.
It wasn't, I mean, he denied him, but so did Peter.
No.
But Peter had humility before he did it, and that's why he fell. When he said, all the other apostles will deny you, but not me. And that kind of arrogance cost Peter. He denied him, but then, because he did realize his fault, he realized his weakness, and he asked for forgiveness, he cried, and he became the greatest of the apostles, one of the greatest apostles. For Judas, the devil entered his heart because he really didn't have to repent, he had remorse.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah. So it's not enough to just say, I'm sorry, to have some remorse, but also to produce fruits of repentance. It's like, yes, I know I'm wrong, and I cannot continue to be like that. I have to change my ways. Metania in Greek is to change my entire mindset. It's not enough just to say, oh, I'm sorry. It's easy to say, I'm sorry. What are we going to do about it? Okay? We're going to rectify ourselves so we don't have to be causing sorrow to other people. So, metania in Greek means, I change my mindset. I renew myself.
You mentioned that the special period of Lent is also a 10%, a tithe, because it's 36 days, 365 days a year. That's very nice. I like that. I read on Facebook that Metropolitan Zalalas has that there's a new interest in a more liturgical approach to Lent by even Protestants. Calvinistic Protestants are even getting more focused on what Lent means. I know many evangelical churches go throughout the entire Lenten period with not really doing anything different than they do any other Sunday. And then they have Easter Sunday, and then they go back and doing everything else they did the same. Is there any outreach opportunities sharing the richness of a liturgical Lent or our tradition with anybody in other traditions like the Protestant?
We have had active dialogues for the last 50, 60 years. So there has been a lot of dialogues in many churches, and from Protestantism, Catholicism. So I think they do admire the fact that, and they know that Orthodoxy has kept the tradition. They know this, but they don't know it enough to change, okay? Because a lot of our leaders kind of give them the impression that we are all basically the same, okay? And I don't have a problem with that. If the problem that I have is when we change our tradition, we change the medicine, we change the therapeutic discipline, then people do not become healed. See, Orthodoxy is not, these traditions are not there for historical reasons. It's a therapeutic medical science to take you from being a person of passions to the resurrection. And unless, and Father John Romanidis did an excellent job at, proclaiming that message. And he was on the dialogues. And for many times, he had the Episcopalians learning and practicing the Jesus prayer. They were fascinated back in the 60s and 70s. And a lot of the other bishops, the Orthodox ones, the ecumenists, they were very curious. What is wrong with you? What are you teaching these people this stuff for? Teach them theology. But this is what they need. They need, to bring the grace of God in their hearts. And, that's the purpose of the following the commandment. And one thing that we need to continue to teach is that everything that we talked about cannot take place outside of the church. Theosis only takes place in the Orthodox Church. Not because we are, egotistical, or the fact is only the Orthodox Church at this point, still has spiritual elders at the state of theosis. Dozens of them in Russia, Greece, Romania. And occasionally, we may have, a Roman Catholic that supposedly became a saint 50, 60 years ago, but we don't see that in the other traditions, which shows that the therapeutic discipline and the medicine has been diluted, watered down. So, we need the mysteries of the church. We fast, but we don't do it because of a diet or because it's going to help us and because we're going to live longer. All these things are true, but we must do it by Holy Confession, Holy Communion, Holy Unction, within the mystical sacraments of the church. So many people are looking at Orthodoxy. We have many converts. A lot of people are changing to Orthodoxy. I think in America, at least, a lot of people are becoming Orthodox. And that's because they really see that there's something wrong with a church body that embraces homosexuality. I mean, how can a church do that? It just doesn't make any sense when the gospel is filled with all kinds of verses against that kind of lifestyle. It's something that does not perfect us in Christ Jesus. It's not virtuous. Any other questions?
This week, we've seen how Ash Wednesday has been portrayed, even Ashes to Go. They've gone to Starbucks and McDonald's for people who didn't have time to go to church, and they would just say a prayer and give them ashes. So it's happened all over the country.
It really goes to show that, people are Christians. In their, it's a good thing, I think, because people in their soul, they really want to find God. And although they're lost and they have lost the tradition, years ago I got involved in a pizza shop, back in the 1990s, and we were doing very well. And then around Great Lent, our business fell off like 50%. And I couldn't believe it. Why? We're not selling pepperoni anymore, And I found out that the whole region was a lot of Catholics. So they, in their mind, they began to give things up. So they were trying. But because their church thinks that, let's just make things easier for people so we will have followers. The opposite is wrong. The easier we make things for them, then people they don't appreciate it. And we think that if we make things really easy for our youth, then we're going to win. No, the young people, they want something difficult. They want to struggle. That's human nature. So, all this Mardi Gras and all these things, of course, it's the wrong message. Because first of all, you don't go out to prepare for Lent, by practicing prodigality and, by practicing sin. That's not the idea. And they even do it in Greece, and a lot of the bishops speak against those things. The, Mardi Gras, Argentina, it's ridiculous. But, it is the works of idolatry that we're supposed to avoid. So the idea is not to try, although we're going to tithe for these 36 days, this is, we're priming the pump. That's what we're doing. So once this great Lent is over, so we will continue to carry the Spirit in the rest of the year. And then as year after year, we want to continue this kind of spirit, and then we fast Wednesday and Friday for the entire year. And then we fast, the holidays, 15th of August, during Christmas. And then this becomes natural to us. It becomes like a way of life. And as you know, you got emails from all over. Now they're discovering the great universities of Johns Hopkins that by having a diet of only vegetables twice a week reduces Parkinson's, reduces strokes, reduces Alzheimer's. Wow, they're discovering this after 2,000 years, Church knows this all along. Nobody knows the soul like the church and the church fathers. And the church is the body of God. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you.